Well, thank you everybody for coming. My name is Lori Goedken, and I'm the owner of the Sweet Country Creations. I am very excited tonight to show you these little mug huggers. These are a new venture for me, so I don't claim to be an expert, but I do a lot of graphics and use a lot of graphics. So anyway, I'm eager to share and get right into it. So I am going to show you my canvas screen first. And on my canvas screen, I have, let's see, boom. I have a picture of, you don't need to see all that, my, can you see that okay?
Yep, beautiful.
Okay, so these are the finished product. Um, I had a little help from Chat GPT with the background, but those are my cookies. Okay, so I have these particular cookies on um, a white backer board, which is just a cake box I cut up. So they're food safe, and I used what I had. I've got a lot of these boxes that I don't use. So these are going to go to my grandkids, by the way. I do a lot of corporate orders. So then on this other side, you'll see the yellowback, and it's hard to see the print, but I'll show you the print in a minute. So I decided that I like them with the white backer better, and then I can use the back of it. I can use the sugar sheet. I printed this on a sugar sheet, and I'll show you in a minute how I did that. Um, but these are the cute little mug huggers. I just love them. They fit just perfect on here, and I'll talk to you about the coordinates and all of that. So without further ado, the first step that you have to do is go into your Chat GPT or Bing, or another one I like is Gemini, and you can make really whatever image you want. Um, I try to be a little more selective with the image, but this one turned out so darn cute that I just worked with it. The fewer indentations, can you see my pointer here?
Yep.
Okay, so you see these indentations? These later
Mhm.
will you'll have to do extra work with these. So if you can get an image that has fewer gaps in it, they're ideal, but you can still work with it if you don't. So anyway, this is the charming Highland cow, fluffy, full of character. Just be as descriptive as you can when you go to make an image, whatever that image might be. Um, and another helpful site, if you're interested, is Bing, Bing prompts, Prompts in Facebook group, and it'll teach you. I mean, a lot of people post different things, and that's one of the places I got this prompt. I just changed it to what I wanted. I just liked the look of the image, and so I changed it to what I wanted in the image. And that's really how I do my images. And if at first you don't succeed, you just keep trying. So I did this in Chat GPT. I did the one that you saw, the background image that you saw on my face or behind my head. That was done on Bing. And then I did another one on Gemini. And the one on Gemini turned out completely different, and I didn't like it at all. So, but I've done things on Gemini that were just phenomenal. So I really just depends on the search engine. If you don't like what you get on one, I encourage you to just go to another one and see what you like. So until you can find what you like. So anyway, aren't these cute? I think they're so cute.
They're adorable.
Yeah.
And you use an
Um,
icing for the backing? Is that what you did?
I did. I printed this. This is an icing sheet. This just happened to be what I had on hand. If I had had a smart sheet, I would have probably used a smart sheet. But I almost tried to print it right on the cookie card, but I was concerned about a little bleed, or, it's a slick surface, so I wasn't sure if it would adhere. Have you had people try that, Debbie?
Yeah, and I've had mixed results. It's because there's that wax coating on there. So I know Dr. Susie just replaces the card with the smart sheet. And I
Yeah,
had some, but we saw that last week. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, so it's whatever works.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. I just happened to had extra icing sheets from on hand that I actually ordered a big bunch of them right before I got my blue, and the order had to cancel, so she had a medical emergency come up, and I ended up with several of them. And I thought, well, I'm not selling them to eat, but I can still sell them for background. These are going to go to my grandkids though, so anyway, this just a tip. When I staged this, this is actually my coffee cup and my cookies on the background. And I mean, this one actually is not Chat GPT on the left here. This is mine. This is mine. Uh, and my coffee, I just put a little water in there and added some Buckeye Brown for those of you who want quick coffee in your cups when you go to do your photo editing. Just a tip. And there's the staged photos again. Um, okay, so once we had our image, okay, we have our image right here. And there we're going to work on the little guy, the little cow. I'm going to bring that in so you could see it better. And I might raise this up just a little. Oops, I don't want to do that. Okay, no, it's not letting me. So, can you still see it okay? Or is that too small? Oh, did I lose you, Deb? Debbie?
I'm here. Sorry, I had muted
Okay.
myself as
Just
I was
wanted
moving my
I
screen
just
around.
wanted to make
I
sure.
knew
I
it was.
thought, uh-oh, I'm going to
No, I'm
stop if
here.
I lost
I'm
them.
here.
Okay.
We're good.
Um, so I'm going to first of all start to edit this, and I'm going to go up to the top bar here. I don't know if you could see that, but this top bar on the left-hand side, and I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to go to adjust. And I've got a handy sheet of step by step of how to do this, but I will tell you that every image could be a little different. I am going to go to, well, let's see. I want to make sure I remove the background first. So I think this background's already been removed, but I want to make sure. Okay, so then I'm going to go over to that, edit, edit, adjust, and I'm going to go foreground. Okay, because I don't want to adjust the background. It's not necessary in this case. So I'm going to take my temperature down, take my tint down. And again, I've got all these settings in here. So if you guys have any questions, one of the things you might want to do, usually brightness goes lower, um, but see how that changes it when I move that slider. And contrast, sometimes if you're going backwards, it helps. In this case, it doesn't. Usually highlights are lower. And then shadows, see when I go back the difference, when I go forward the difference. And I will say when you do this, you'll notice that I'm taking the whites out now and see how that changed it. But if you look really close, you could still see that you can still see part of that image even though it looks black. So I'm going to go black, but you can still very lightly see it. So I'm going to turn down the vibrance too, and that helps. And then I'm going to desaturate it,
And
and
then
that
make
helps.
all those colors right there. If you make them all black, it goes black.
Yeah, I was going to say I've done that too. And then let's see, I'm not going to touch the sharpness. The clarity, you can go down on the clarity. And what Debbie was saying is, okay, if you want to change the color, um, let's see, is it letting me change it? I think you got to change it up here. That's usually
Yeah,
how I
there you
do
go.
it. Oops. There
Okay.
we go. Doom. Unfortunately, they don't give you the whole spectrum of color, so you're still gonna look at that egg. How did the egg do that? It wasn't that way a minute ago, was it?
That's really weird.
Did you? Oh, I know why the egg did that. I know why because I unattached it earlier. I was
Ah,
playing.
there you go.
So I'm gonna have to edit that egg. I was like, what
That's
in it?
funny.
Okay, let's get that egg out of there.
That silly egg.
Yeah. Okay, I did something wrong there. There we go. Okay, now we're cooking. Okay, so now there are other ways to do this too. You can do it on uh, Cricut Design Space, but I'm most familiar with this one. So I used to use a Cricut when I made my own stencils, and I haven't made stencils for a long time. So I just do it this way. This is the one I'm picking. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not explaining what I did here. I'm going to delete that and do it again. Okay, I'm going to go up to elements, and then in the search, I'm going to type whatever shape I think will fill in those gaps best. So I think I had good luck with an oval. Um, I tried a what the heck? There we go. Where's my oval? Well, I had it there a minute ago and now it disappeared. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to get it from my. What on earth is going on?
Right there.
There. Stacy, you're not in the background tricking me there, are you? He's like, no, would I do that to you?
Yeah, he
Okay.
would.
I know.
Nope, not this
Okay.
time.
Not this time. So I'm just bringing this in to fill out this gap. Okay. Um, I don't want to go any larger with it because I don't want to start going into these areas right here at the end. You can see at the top and the bottom of this. Now I'm going to just duplicate it and then I'm going to bring it over here, rotate it. I could have actually, if I wanted to get real technical, I could have checked the angle I rotated it at and set that on there. But this side actually is a tad bit bigger. There we go. And then I'm going to copy it because I want to fill in this area. I'm going to copy it again because I want to fill in the other area. If I need to explain this more, let me know. Um, I'm so used to just doing it.
You're all good.
Okay. I figure a lot of people, especially if you've worked with any graphics, you probably have used Canva before. Um, I don't need this big of a piece here. I think I'm going to try to go down with it. And I don't need to, well, I'll tell you one thing that I consider when I'm doing it on here, um, especially with a 2-inch cutter. You're talking about a 2.5-inch cutter, so that is a very small cutter, and these little points are going to be way too small if you're just trying to cut that little bitty cutter. So that's why I'm trying to fill these gaps, and I'm just doing it the best way I know how. There really isn't a hard, fast science to it, or that I know of anyway. This, like I said, I'm new to making cookie cutters, so um, this is a new process for me too. But this worked, so I decided it's okay. It worked for me.
However, you figure out 5,000 different ways to do things, and then all of a sudden
Yes.
you'll really quick way, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't do it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I looked on Procreate. And Procreate, there's an easier way to do it. But I thought about showing it, but I'm just not skilled enough to do that. Uh, I never did really care for Procreate, but okay. So now I don't think I did do anything with this bottom in the original image, but you could if you think it's gonna be a problem. So I'm basically just trying to fill in any big areas there. I did not do anything with I don't think I did anything with I'm actually giving you the file that's done, so you don't have to even worry about doing the edits yourself. But so you could bring that all the way out if you wanted. I did not do that. So, and this is not the best little there, but I think you get the idea of what I'm doing. Okay, so then once you have that done, I like to go up and I'm going to find my little, this is my actual file that I worked on. I'm going to find my image and I'm going to copy that image. Okay, I'm going to bring it down to my other image and I'm going to just put it over top of it. There, so this will show you where it's going to hit and where it's not. Okay, if I wanted to, I could really get particular and open that up just a little bit more. Okay, so the next step's going to be to go over to elements. Okay, that's on your side panel on the left, second one down, and I'm going to type in rectangle. And it's going to give me, it gives me a square. So I'm going to change the color to white. And I'm going to go up to position. Okay, so there's position. And at the top. And then I'm going to type in, and it never wants to do the point for me. I don't know why. You can do it at a 1/4 inch, which is 0.25. But I liked it at 0.30, which is just a tiny bit more. And you notice I didn't put my point in there, so that would give me a 30-inch figure. I'm going to go back in and put my point back in. For whatever reason, it doesn't want to give it to me right away. And then I'm going to make it about 1 inch. You can, some of those I actually did 3/4 inch because the design didn't support anything else. So, okay. So now I actually should have minimized this first. I'm going to minimize this. Okay. And I'm going to select, just going to hit my command button on my Mac, and I'm going to select all these little pieces. Oops. Sorry, shift key, sorry. All these little pieces that I added. And my main piece. Make sure I got them all. I'm going to check my layers to see if I've got them all. I'm missing a couple. There we go. There. Okay, and I'm going to group them. And you just group them by hitting the group at the bottom. Sometimes it shows up on the top, sometimes it shows up on the bottom. But I've grouped it so that when I move it and I change it, it's going to be change it all together. Otherwise, I would have just messed up everything that I did. So I go on here, and I'm going to put my coordinates, or my ratio is going to be 2.25 inches. Okay, and that should automatically change the other side too because it's locked. If it wasn't locked, it would not have done that. So I would have had some weird stuff happening. I'm going to also change my cow to 2.25 inches. See, I forgot to lock it. See how I cut it off? That's a good example. There. I'm going to lock it first. You're hitting that lock button. It goes purple to show you it's locked. 2.25. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the bottom of my page, and I'm just going to make it bigger so I can see it better and you can see it better. Okay. I'll go a little bit bigger than that. Okay. So I'm at 2.25. Make sure I'm at 2.25 on this. You can see that it's not lining up, which it should be. I'm not sure why it's not. Usually it lines up perfect.
Did you have your width and your height locked? I couldn't tell because it's so tiny.
I thought I did. Yeah, I thought I did. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. Do you see? Okay, so when I click on my cow, you can see that it's cropped to the edge. And look what happens when I click on my new image. I've got gaps over here. Okay, that's the difference. So I'm going to have to take this image and go bigger. And I'm going to go, let's see, 35. It'll probably be more than that, but the one thing that I like to crop my stuff first, but when you start grouping all of this, it won't let you crop it again. So it kind of, I should have actually cropped that image before, and I think I actually put that in my notes for you guys that you should crop your image first. Okay, I'm going to go just a little bit bigger with this, 3.4. There we go. But basically, I want to make sure this is lining up because next I want to go to my element that I put in there, and I won't be able to see my little white thing until I click on this. And it's at the bottom of my screen, I bet. Yeah, there it is. So my little white thing, okay, should be, yeah, 1 inch. Okay, so when I look at it, the little white thing, I want to center it to where I like it. Okay, so sometimes that center, and Canva will automatically give you a center there, but I don't want it there, and I'll show you why. See how his paws are right off center? That may be too anal for some of you, but I like it to be symmetrical with that since that's what I'm seeing. So that's one of the reasons that I put this image up here is that I want to be able to tell where that's going to hit on the cutter but to me, that's important because I don't want to cut off certain parts of the image. So let's say there was that was kind of important, especially on the chick when I did the chick, because the chick was right in the center. Well, if you cut it off, if you use that in the wrong spot, you can cut off a leg or an arm or a face or something like that. So, if that makes sense. Excuse me. Do we have any questions yet, Debbie?
Nope, everybody's watching.
Okay. Now I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need the cow anymore. The only reason I needed that cow was I wanted to make sure that he was fitting. Okay. So I'm going to group these together by hitting my shift key, and I'm on the computer. So it's different whether you're on the computer or if you're doing it on the phone. I do graphics on my phone a lot. So I know it's a weird way to do it, but I live on my phone. So, okay. So now I can go back. Let's see. There we go. Now I've grouped it and I'm not afraid to go back out with it. Okay. One of the things too on when you're downloading your image, it won't matter as much on this because of the quality doesn't matter as much on the shadow image when you go into the cookie CAD, which is what we're going to do in a minute. But when you're downloading your images, okay, so this image I think is formatted, let's see, 10 by 10, 10 by almost 10. So it's a big image, but I want that image big because I want the print quality. If I were to just do a 2.5 by 2.5 and download that, it's not going to give me as good of a print image, and that shows up in your prints when you go to print it on blue, or honestly, if you do it on an edible printer too, if you're planning on doing it on a sheet printer. So anyway, that's just a tip. Let's see. So now we're done with our image, and to download it, you can download whatever you want. Oh, I do want to tell you, I did this. Let me show you that while we're in here. I took my image and I went over to ChatGPT. I took my image of the cow and I asked it to do the same style and the same likeness and the same vibe. Excuse me. And I just asked it to make a background paper. Well, it didn't do so hot. So I ended up with a bunch of cows everywhere and these little flowers, maybe 2 or 3 little flowers and cow heads and stuff. So I used my grab tool, and I'll show you that real quick. So I went up to my edit again, and I went into Magic Grab here. It's got the balloon on it. Okay, and you can see where I've grabbed stuff, and you can just grab whatever you want. And then when you grab it, ding, so now it's grabbed, which is why you saw the egg. I had grabbed that egg. I grabbed the egg, this orange egg you see here. Those were grabbed and duplicated. So then I duplicate it and I just put it wherever I wanted on the screen. So that's how I made the wallpaper. I basically made it myself. I mean, there was a few eggs that it had on there, and then I just took some more eggs and some more flowers and made my own. I like to do them in a smaller square because if I'd have done this in a 10 by 10, it would have been way too big for a backer board, way too big of a pattern. So I just went ahead and did it small and duplicated it, which sometimes you get a little bit of, like you could see down here, I got a little unwanted edge there, but honestly, it's not bad. So that was how I did that. So when you go to download, you're going to just hit share and download. And if you've got, like, I've got 13 pages on this of all the different things, I only want this page. So then I would just hit done, and then it's going to download it for me. Okay, so to whatever I want, you can put it to whatever you want at that point. Excuse me. Okay, so now we're ready. We've got our black shape, and you'll see why we need that in a second. Now, I will tell you that Cookie CAD, let's see, Cookie CAD already did it. Cookie CAD took my shape, and I'm gonna say upload a new image. I want to show you this. See my image? That's my image that I just did. Okay, let's see if it'll do it again. Okay, it won't. I'll do the chick. So I'll grab my chick. I did a chick 2.5 and a chick 2.25. I put both files in the drop file that we're going to share with you. So you guys are going to get all the files to these, which is kind of a nice little bonus. Happy Easter. Okay.
Yay.
Yeah. So there is, it's set on imprint cutter. We are in design, Cricut, or not Cricut, Cookie CAD Designer is what we're in. It's different than the Cookie CAD website. So you want to type in Cookie CAD Designer, and this really does it for you. You see how that just made an imprint cutter? We want to change it to a cutter. Okay. So again, I am new at this, and look at how easy that was. You can do this with when we uploaded the new image. You can do it with a colored image, but it did not work with any of the ones I had because there was too much activity, too many lines in the image itself. But sometimes if you have just simple clip art, it'll let you do it from the clip art. You don't have to turn it black or anything like that. In this case, I did. Um, so so I did. I just did what I needed to do. Okay, and then I'm changing it to inches. You can keep it at millimeters if you prefer millimeters. I want to do a 2.25. That is your longest side is what that measures. Okay, so it'll automatically keep your ratio for you, and everything stays in proper proportions. So then we go down to your blade and the settings. Everybody kind of has their own settings that they like. This is what I am using because this is what Nancy Westfall taught. And Nancy Westfall, actually, I have a link to her video on YouTube of that's a little more detailed on how to do this. Okay, so it tells you how to do this particular thing and set up a 3D printer. So again, I'm new to it. I'm just following what she had done. I have made a couple things on my own, but not real. Not real. What am I trying to say? Oops, I'm going backward here. Not a lot. Let me put it that way. Okay. So then this just tells you. Let me just show you this angle. Watch what happens when I change this. You see how it's getting bigger? I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah.
You might. Yeah, you can just see what it does, and so you really can see the cookie cutter and what you want. The width here. Let's see. We're gonna go one. So this is the sharp blade that I'm working at now, and I don't want that very big at all. So, oops, I keep going up. There. And then on the handle, I went a little bit smaller. Usually I keep the handle right where it's at, but it's a smaller cutter, so I went a little smaller with the handle. Um, and then your edge, and that's the edge. See, that's this edge here. And that camphor edge is slightly rounded, but not round. And I'll show you the difference. And then you go to a rounded edge. So I'm curious how many people see the difference on the rounded.
Yep.
I'm curious how many people actually have a 3D printer already.
A lot of these people on here do.
Okay, so they know all this probably, and then you just
Maybe,
download
maybe
your.
not. A lot of people are like just going into it, you know. So
Yeah,
it's good.
it's getting started too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'm downloading the STL, and the STL is just a file that is for your cookie cutters. I'm not going to download it because I've already downloaded, but all you do is hit the download button in the bottom here. And then you can upload a new image and do whatever you want to do with that. And then let's see. Then I need to go to my Bamboo Studio. So I am going to go back to here. And there's my Bamboo Studio. Okay, so I have uploaded my cutters in my Bamboo Studio. And it's really simple. You just take your cutters off of your I leave them on my desktop when I'm doing it, and I just drop them in, and that's all you do. There is a button here that arranges them for you to be optimally printed, and they can do it better than you can. If you're uncomfortable with it being too close or whatever, you can change it. Let's see. I'm going to try to make it bigger. You see, I've got, I can click each cutter, but I've got some wording on the side. I don't know if you can see it from where you're at, but I'm going to check over here on objects and on the left-hand side and click on objects. And then I'm going to look at my chick and I'm going to see what's underneath there. So I just hit that arrow button and my text shape is going to show up. If I want to edit my text, I can. The text will highlight, but you've got to select it from there. If I were to select it from the text button, it would add another text button. And I don't want to do that. I want to just change what I've got. So I go to the I go to the text box and I check my size. I usually do a 6 millimeter on all of mine actually. 0.20, 0.10. This is the thickness of your, I'm going to try to turn that around. That's the thickness of how far that's going to come out from your cutter. Okay, so you don't really want it too thick. You can actually go 0.10 too. I prefer 10. This surround surface is what helps it to go around corners. If you were to go around a corner, it'll see how it'll take it to a corner for you. I don't want it on the corner. I like it as flat as I can. But sometimes you don't have any choice. You have corners on your cutters and you have to go around a corner. The cow was kind of like that. I had a hard time finding any place that didn't have that didn't have a flat surface. Or that had a flat surface. So you notice when I'm in here, I'm only seeing just the cutter I'm working on, which is really convenient because when you've got 3 on there, it can be kind of hard to see what you're doing. So I'm just going to double click on that and it's going to see, it shows me that it's adhered. Okay. If it weren't adhered, when I go to slice my plate, which is getting it ready to print, And honestly, the machine does all of it for you, except when it malfunctions. And when I was trying to do cutters, I had originally printed these 3 or 2.5, and then I decided, oh, I need to put them in these little sleeves, so I'm going to go 2.25. And so I started printing some more, and gee whiz, my printer started going haywire, and I was getting strings everywhere for the first time. Never had any issues before that. And I found out I needed a new hot end. So um, I did kind of dry my filament and all of that. So it isn't always flawless, but these machines are just incredible. You can just do a lot with them. So anyway, um, now I can slice my plate. Boom. And look at it does the work for me. It'll even alert me if there's a problem. So it kept alerting me that my lamb was off. And I finally just took the lamb off of there and then said, okay, I'll deal with it later, because I was dealing with the printer issue too. And it turned out that I had not double clicked when I did my letter. And so the letter had not, or the words had not adhered yet. And I thought they had. So, but the computer warned me that there was a problem when I sliced it. So at that point, I'm just hitting print. Okay, so this upper right hand button, it tells me how much it's going to cost. Um, and that's assuming there's no waste or anything like that. But honestly, it doesn't cost that much. Tells me how much time it's going to take. It tells me just about anything. And then there's settings over here. Um, you know, you have to, when you're in the prepare mode, I'm going to go back to prepare. When you're in the prepare mode, you have to hit what your settings are. I'm using a generic, and so I have it all configured to um, how much I pay for my generic and that's how it gives me the cost and all of that. So you'll see that in your settings. If you look at Nancy Westfall's video, she explains all of those settings and everything. Much better than I can. She's done it for years, so I think she owns like 10 of them. And I'm sure Stacy's got a few of them too. So anyway, this over here just shows you different parts of what what strength you have. Your settings are under here. Your support. I did a I did a cutter one time and it said you need support. And I was like, no, I shouldn't need support. That's how I knew that my letter was off. It had to be my letter because um, Cookie Cat doesn't make mistakes on me either, or not that I've found anyway. I haven't seen any yet. But anyway, that's it. Then you go to print it. And I've got a video of that print too. I do want to show you. Let's see. My watch is beeping at me, telling me to get up, uh, but I'm not going to get up. Okay. So, so I don't. Can you guys? Can they see me again? Oh,
Um,
you're showing the video. Okay. Okay. So
yeah,
this
no,
is
they can
this
see
is
you and the printer printing.
okay. This is going to print, and I decided to just show it to you rather than try to stop our session and start it up again when I go over to the printer and all of that. So it made it easier to just do it on here. But you can see how pretty it prints. And I've sped this up just for the sake of time. But it's beautiful. And one of the things that you'll see toward the end of the video, um, I just took my cookie cutter and I outlined the images that I had printed on blue, and then I aligned my cookies that way. So there's different ways you can do it, but with shapes, I like to do it exact like that so that I know exactly where that's going to hit. So you can see that my cutters, there's where I did it. See, I just take an edible black marker and go around with my cookie cutter, and that's how I did it. And there's my cookie cutter. And I thought about later, um, that's the cutting side, and the other side was the side that goes on your hand. I think that's the end of the video. Okay, so then I also have one of these. I decided to make this the first cookie cutter I've actually made without anything else. And all I did was I went back into Canva, and let's see if I, there. So you could see it's not showing up. There. Okay. I went back into Canva and did my little white line, except I turned it black. And then I enlarged it to what dimensions that would be comfortable to use this to cut out an actual. I could take this and use it on any cookie cutter to make a, or any, yeah, any cookie cutter that I use that's solid, that isn't a mug hugger, and then I can use it to make my mug hugger. So I thought, oh, I was pretty proud. I have an instant mug hugger anytime I need a mug hugger. So I will say that I introduced these to clients. Well, just last week was the first time, or well, no, probably a month ago that I used them. And I put them on my page, and I got so much interest off of them that I thought, gee, I'm gonna do more of that. So I did some for corporate when I had a corporate customer call me and they had an anniversary special they were doing and needed something. And so I said, sure, I've got these little mug huggers. What do you think of these? And they're like, oh, that's so cute. And I put their logo on them. And then that's what you guys saw last week when I was on the live with Debbie. And, you guys loved them too. So they're just cute, and everybody just, I think they're different. So it's kind of nostalgic and just fun to do.